Hello, everybody. This is a grand day, and we're going to talk about the what do you call it? Lion's Gate. What's the big hype? I'm going to tell you from my point of view what it is, so that you can have more of an idea of, what's the big deal? What is the very big deal? Because I don't know if you've been knowing it. You could be feeling it. You just may be oblivious to what they call the energies. Life may be going along, and all of a sudden it just feels crazy. Um, that's up to you if you want to start paying attention. This is becoming, at this point, after this Lion's Gate, it's going to be more pointing out to lead a soul life, lead your life, to get into how is it that you want a better life for yourself. And that will depend on you, because if you just keep living, if you keep just living in this particular timeline and you think that life is good and that you don't really need to check in with your higher self or your soul, or it's time to go in. Hi, how are you? It is time to go in to find the answers. And because the outside world is changing. And kind of think about that for a moment. When you go into, it's not working. When you go out there in the world and you see and hear the news, depends on what timeline you're in, you may feel like you're falling apart. Well, I'm here to talk about this. I'm here to give you readings. I'm here to give you healing tools. We have soul codes now. I'm really good. And we don't have to suffer. It is really being pointed out by this Lionsgate that's here. We drove by because we were traveling to go to visit the beach, and the next thing you know, what we've seen is there's like a lion's head in the cloud. Then we saw some feathers like in a bird, and then we saw the Horus eye, and it's like, wow, even the in our timeline, we are starting to see more and more signs. The intensity of your dreams. So we want you to start to learn how to build your intuition. So you may be seeing more of the um, memes that I've been putting up on Facebook. I don't know any other avenue at this point to communicate, to send up memes. So, but if you do, let me know. And these are build your intuitions with flashes of songs in your head and what it could mean. And even though it's good stuff, maybe there's some stuff that you have to look at the root, the healing. And then go further, there's characters. And we're doing our best now to just start giving soul codes out to people, and so they can give it a try, give it a go. So it is good to see you, Ernie, Autumn, and Amy. Yeah, you've been seeing the signs. And our intuition is going to be popping more. And if you are more in the way the old world was thinking, then you'll be like, well, how is this be? How should I? Is this evil? Is it wrong? You haven't really learned how to communicate with your heart yet. You haven't learned how to communicate with that heart brain coherence and to get those answers. And that's why I'm here. Hi, April. You're here to now remember that you are a soul first that's choosing to be here in Earth School. And if you don't like what you see out there, it's time to go in to change those roots, those epigenetic codes, those belief systems. Those belief systems, my goodness. Um, the more and more I study the brain, the more and more it's like, holy cow. And the biggest one, I think, was 1978. And I researched it more because at first I thought it was in 71, but it's depends on who actually took that information, went forward. So 1978, they did an experiment of cutting the brain in half, and they flashed to the right hemisphere the word walk, and the left side of the body, got up and started walking. And when they asked the left hemisphere, why'd you get up and walk? Oh, because I wanted a cola. But that's not the truth. The brain and left brain is designed to fill in and give it meaning. Thank you. Wonderful birthday present. And when it filled in the blank, it just gives it reason, meaning, but the heart's not really involved. The left brain, the right brain's not working together. Your heart and your brain are not working together, and they need to begin to do so. Because in is where you get what? The answers. Not from your brain, but from your heart. And you have to override what the brain's doing, because the brain just takes in what you tell it. And the more you focus on it, the more you decide that you want to think it over, the 41 thoughts all the time, and you're thinking about it all the time, you're hardwiring your brain to say, this is what you believe, this is what you feel, and this is because it's important to you, those are your values. But if you're always in survival mode, then you're not really going to wake up that heart of love, because you're going to put walls up. You're going to put everything up to say, I can't do it. And we want you to understand that you may feel a little wonky. You may feel like, things have got to change. Because the grand convergence is energy. It's the mechanics of energy. And it's global, emotional, psychological, social, rational, relational, identity-based. They're all hitting the collapse simultaneously. But you don't have to feel like you're crazy. Your body and you and the soul says safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, space. This is freedom. And to get all those, you need to go in and you need to change the way the left brain is always in charge and giving it meaning. Giving you don't have to believe your own BS, giving you meaning that is not even the correct meaning. You, as a soul, needs to step up and go, wait a minute. I need to begin to understand that my emotions do affect my world, my belief systems, my identity structures, these social norms, these global narratives, these personal boundaries, and relational dynamics, since they're all breaking down. And yes, it is happening. I don't care how much you try to ignore it, it is happening. The emotional convergence of this Lion's Gate. And it's not the Lion's Gate fault. This is part of the phoenix. When the phoenix has to die and then rise again. So you have this emotional convergence. People feel burned out, overwhelmed. Do you feel emotionally exhausted? Identity confusion? Sudden clarity spikes, emotional validity. You're just like, wait, what? Because as the way your world knows it starts to be very thin, then more and more of love starts to be present. And so you'll be in great conflict with yourself. And your left brain and you will scramble in survival mode if you haven't healed the roots to try to control, to keep it. And this is where you can go down the road of feeling like you're going to have what do you call a bitch slap? Your life is going to be hit hard because you won't let go. You don't know when to pull the trigger or when, to bite the bullet or when to change things. And you don't have the guts in you to do so because of the fear. And so somebody else is going to have to do the initiation for you. Now, you can either do this with grace and ease or you can do it the hard way. So you've got the emotion that's converging, the identity. The identity is, I don't know who I am anymore. I can't keep living this way. Everything feels wrong. I need to change something. This is that initiation phase. So you have collapse with the emotion and initiation because of the questions, but the belief. You're questioning your relationships, your career, your values. Yes. because your values could be your parents or of the last era or way back 100 years ago. Traditions and things like this get passed on. We're going to be talking a lot more about that in the future. But spiritual beliefs, your purpose, most people don't quite understand their purpose. The first 30 years of your life, you pretty much memorize. And then there's this Saturn's return. And as Saturn starts to return, I remember I'm right on cue. Okay. I have been doing this stuff for over 30 years. And so it was like, I gotta what? And I could feel the path switch. And I could feel that I had to step up. And I could feel that I had to be something more than what I looked around. But shame and guilt control you. Shame and guilt forces you to stay. Your soul has been calling. It's time for you to understand and listen to what that really means. So now you're at the stage where your belief systems are collapsing and reforming. You have the social convergence next, okay? And the social workplaces are reconstructing, work jobs, everything else is like, how do you survive now? And you're learning how to turn to becoming the soul resolver. Now, everybody's kind of like used to, hey, I'll let you resolve it. Hey, tell me what this means. Hey. But the soul is saying, no, you have to go in and learn that you already have this gift of resolving. You got to stop living out there. You got to stop letting the environment tell you. So people are leaving old communities, people are seeking new meaning, and people are rejecting old norms. Now, so far, we have had the collapse, the ignition, and the rise. Now, your nervous system. This is where the healing tools, the soul cards, and all of this, and is that globally people are reporting they're sensitive, their intuition is spiking, their emotional honesty, overwhelm, activation, and dysregulation. And they're beginning to realize they don't like this dysregulation. So this is also the beginning of people understanding that they need to raise their EQ, not their IQ, their EQ, their emotional intelligence, their emotional quotient. And you can use the body to simply start to change the way the emotions create your beliefs and your fears control your values, and you start to heal out and change, but you got to start showing up for yourself. If you're doing a lot of things but you're not showing up for yourself and you're going back into your programs, you're not going to create a world any greater than what you already know. So this is where you have to learn how to become more your soul. It has a language. You'll be on the bridge and it's waiting. And if you meet it halfway, you're going to start doing leaps and bounds. And to me, that's very important. So the four suits, the spiritual body, mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body. And as I'm focusing on the physical body, I have to change my value systems. I value my body. And there's all these different ways that I have to feel and understand that I have a body and it needs to be loved and it is loved. The emotion, I don't have to be run by emotions. That old era is actually saying, no, we're done. We don't need that type of lower frequency of consciousness that's stuck in shame and guilt and all of that. Okay. And it doesn't need to. So we're actually moving away from the hero's journey. And the hero's journey, you can watch TV and say, oh, yeah, yeah. But here's the thing about you. If you are living in being controlled by these emotions and you change your values so that you could survive, then the hero's journey is, okay, I just had a bad experience. Now you couldn't respond, you couldn't be the hero there, but inside your head, the narrative, the self-talk, you become the hero and you talk yourself into overcoming, but then you finally figure it out, you're all good and you're back to being happy, and then all of a sudden the situation that happened. It's got roots and it still defines you. And so the inner world creates the outer world, and the outer world shows you again. And you don't go into the new heroes part of yourself. You go back into the very first time you solved it from 0 to 7 years of age. And well, I tried this and it worked and then it failed. And I tried this and it worked and it failed. That has been the old belief systems. But when you start to change the emotion, it changes the words. And when you change the emotion that's tied to the experience, you get your power back. And it's not about anything other than your personal life force. This is your life force that makes the body run. You need that back. So this is so important that we learn how to especially handle and regulate, not cope, handle, deal, manage, pacify, but to resolve the emotions that change the narrative, that let your heart to let down the heart walls because you're putting up healthy boundaries and you're taking your life force back and you're starting to realize you're the one that was born in this body, no one else. Now, the spiritual convergence that's coming in, it's about this awakening, an alignment, this reinventing, this transformation, this new self, this new chapter, this new identity. This is the rise phase. And it is all important that you understand that in the last minute, Spirit says, create a 3-day event. I'm looking at him like, you ain't giving me no time. Spirit said, if you do it Spirit led, you'll get it all worked out. And it's right. Boom, heard it, started writing it, even took a day off. And you live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, dream it, and imagine it. I love my life. And when it's soul led and my spirit, I'm a spiritual human, I am soul led. My soul is sitting in my frontal lobe and I'm connected. You all are. You just forgot. You're focusing on the wrong direction. And the programs get in the way. And so the 3-day event is that it's initiation. And we're going to sit there and we're going to work on, I'm going to give you a collective card so we can start really focusing on what's going on. Then I will give everybody a single card about what your soul wants you to address that's going to help you so you don't go kicking and screaming and having to do the bitch slaps and having to rearrange and destroy your life. But you heal the emotions, you heal the stories, and all of a sudden, Spirit will help you build a new life. And you'll have to, just like the rest of us, have to take your life force out of the way that you had to adapt to losing your life force power, adapt to everybody else's way of living. And you built a life on that. And most people will take and live fear and let fear control it. But you are meant to open your heart and let love, learning to receive love and to give that leadership, that energy of support. Too long has the left hand has to do with like the female receiving. And we learned to adapt, to cope. And what we end up doing is that our yin, the female part of us, in male or female, was used to giving so the other people can be regulated. It's not our jobs to regulate people anymore. Our jobs are to hold space. Both accounts are. I'm about ready to dismantle and start over. But that's the changing. If that is the old way, everybody is reforming. All the media is reforming. We're like, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to start over. Well, you might have to. I'm in my second Saturn's return, which means right around 60 years old, and I'm 50. Right around this age, I was asked, are you married to your business name, Soultion? And I said, well, no, I could be. But the thing is the outside can't own you. You have to choose. And I said, okay, no, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna step up and I'm going to do this. I'm going to step up and I'm going to say, okay, so I asked, what do I want to change it to? Just switch the letters around because, and then Spirit showed me that the rhythms that are already in the flow streams, you can't dictate to those. You can help introduce new matrices, but it's you that's got to decide. And it's like, oh, you know what? I don't need to go and fight and think that no, I'm going to do it very much as this soul-led person. And so I'm done being burnout. I'm done having an identity crisis or confusion and the crisis is not me. It's the way that I feel like I have to present myself to people. And it's like, I don't need to do that. So you're going to have to make some changes and say, it's okay for me to show up as me. And those people, they're not my people. So we have to collapse, ignite, and rise. So it's the initiation, it's the activation, and it's the rise. And so that's why 3 days, they are going to be about you moving forward and deciding how you want to choose to live, not choose so that I can feel safe and secure. And oh my God, I gotta, let fear control me and I have to become less than so that they'll like me and I gotta get your approval. No more. You gotta let the yin in. You need to learn to receive because I was used to giving my yin and helping here, but the problem was it was draining me and it kept making my life be a hiccup. So learning to receive, letting people that so used to lean on me so much, they need to learn how to stand. They don't need to learn how to lean. Because if I died, they'd just go lean on somebody else, or would they learn how to stand? I'm doing them a disservice. So if I stand and I hold space, and I'm teaching people how to hold space for others, that is my yang. I'm holding space. I want you to learn how to resolve. I want you to move forward. So the first day is going to be, I'll give you a PDF so that you can journal each day of the thing. You're going to get a collective card, a soul card. And these are personal. Then you're going to learn how to fire and wire your brain so that you can actually be in charge. Because without that, you are literally just wipe the slate clean, go to sleep, and the glial cells that are in our brain will wipe out what we don't think is important. And, and then you wake up and do the same routine. So stop being your memorized self. Start remembering that you're a soul. And your soul wants to live and breathe, and it wants to create, and it wants to resolve, and it wants to live purposely, intentionally. So I'm like, Spirit says, do it. And I says, all right. And I have. Anybody got any questions about it? Because that's, again, what's the importance of it? And I gave you many reasons, but what's it important for you? So the importance, do you want to be you or do you want to keep hiding? Do you want to keep living in confusion? You can heal that. The confusion. We take these words. I feel like a class is coming where we meet and we will work on building this emotional intelligence to the education to which we should have had. That's not the shoulda, coulda, woulda. It wasn't the right time. And now it is. And people want woo-woo. I'm not going to give you, I can't do woo-woo. Well, I could, but then I wouldn't be me. But I can learn how to speak and be in touch with people so that they can be happy. I don't know what's going on with my screen, so just 1 second. I don't know if it's dirty or what it is. We'll see. You want growth. And notice the voice in you, Autumn. Yeah, it's me. I love all you, but I also love me. Notice it. And we have to begin to really write down step by step. So when you're in the live moment and learning how to be your soul, you can go, oh my gosh. And that it's that slight light of hope in that dark. And you don't have to keep having the veil on. You don't have to keep being in the dark. Some of you, your dreams may be intensifying. And if they use the emotion fear to communicate with you, it's because they want you to learn to remember your dreams. But if you learn to understand these dreams in the sense to how you do dream interpretation, it's not woo-woo. But how does your soul talk to you when you sleep? It can give you progress reports. It can show you the emotion you're working on. It can show you the people that are in your dreams are you, but they are different. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? But if you understand some rules about it, you're going to go, oh my God, that's where I'm at. Oh my goodness, this is what I'm going to look at. You learn to not, you change that narrative. You guys some of you have been doing this for a long time, right along with me. How does that narrative change? I want to hear you. And some people are learning that they don't need, when you can't do something and you're already healing. Okay, so the ego part of you, before you do soul led, you're like, you forget the nuances, you ignore it, and you try to dust yourself off and move forward, and you're going, okay, this is what's happening, this is what I'm doing. And it's like, what do I need to do? And as you're doing this, you're not going to notice. But as you're being forced to change something, and you're like, I don't want to do it. Like my first marriage, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get divorced. Nope, these are my values. I'm supposed to be married for life. Yeah, somebody says your thoughts change through healing. Yes. And when you wake up and see that, you're like, I don't have to believe my own BS. That's good. That's good. And when you start to have those experiences and you're like, why did I believe that way? You're training your brain to be something more. Your heart now and your brain now get to be led by your soul for the first time in a long time. You're remembering who you used to be as a soul, which is love. And when you get caught up in how you resolved before by coping, handling, dealing, pacifying, and managing and regulating, and it was stress. You were using stress to cope with stress and believing you couldn't do anything else. But then, and see, Vicky, Autumn, Amy, April, you woke up and you are the tie-dye sheep. You woke up and the people around you are still asleep. No big deal. But to have an experience, let's say you're holding, you're doing the soul codes, and you're holding and you're experiencing that before, this is the way it is. It's an always and always and always. And then you're trained to start noticing as the chemical peptides change, always to, well, maybe. And then when you start to become aware that these things are changing and the words have changed, you can't help but create a new parameter and go, well, why do I want to do that? Or No, I don't want to do that. You get to that soul choice point. It's beautiful. And then when you get to see minus all of those veils, those perspectives, those things and other things that we borrowed. And why did we borrow? Because that's what we did. Monkey see, monkey do. And that's what we did. And you were supposed to memorize yourself. But by the time you hit 30, your first Saturn return, and some beautiful people are starting even younger. Yay. You are setting the tone, creating a new matrix that you don't have to believe your own BS. You don't have to have that negative narrative. You don't have to be that way. And when you see life and you get to hear what your soul is saying, you get ahead of the game because you're like, I have a choice. I was going through something and my ego, but I'm like, oh, but I can feel this pattern. I have to accept this. I have to go through this. Even though I wanted to heal it out, my body says, no, you have to sit in this. You have to experience this. I was reluctant. And then I said, okay, I let it go. And this is what I call letting Jesus take the wheel. This is how you let your soul become in charge. Is that you stop allowing your ego to come in and say, what about this? How about that? This is what they're thinking. This is what's going on. Blah, blah, blah. And you're saying, shh, I can't do it anymore. Thank you, Spirit. You got this. And I say, Jesus, take the wheel. And I just sit there and I've done this many times and you'll know everything will start to fall apart around you, but it doesn't have to bite you. You'll have this shield that is like, even when I was doing it by myself, I could feel the angels. I could feel that quantum field of protection as everything and everybody around me had to fall and leave my life, or the situation was like, nope, that's not supposed to be there anymore. And I wasn't tied to it. And it's like, wow. And then once you start to see that, it's facing that do I need to keep staying hooked to these people? Do I need to still keep abusing myself? And when you start to heal and you're like, no, I don't, these epiphanies start to pop. Yeah. Realizing you have the remote, you can change it and you have different perspectives on different channels. And now we even have where we can switch timelines. That scares a lot of people because I don't know who I am without them. Well, maybe you need to find out because you're choosing to make karma because you refuse to grow as a soul. What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? And that becomes where you start getting self-confidence, not the ego one. This is a knowing. It's a self-knowing confidence. It's a soul self-confidence, soul self-esteem, soul self. And it isn't about being greedy. And when somebody comes and is attacking you because you changed, we normally revert back to so that they'll be happy. But then when you realize that's not really love and that's not really, and you start to notice, and the more you start to understand the language of the soul, you're like, oh my God, these are the gnawing of the teeth at the gates of hell. Where there is no gates, and as you start to walk through, you're going to be so distracted by emotions and thoughts and the guilt and the shame and all of this, you have made your own mental prison. But when you start to heal out the emotions, the prison bars start to fall. And then this program that had controlled you starts to dissipate and you're able to bring in this other energy, and you can't look at the people like you used to. Because the knowing in you is that you're love, and that the first love needs to go to your heart. You need to go in and connect to that heart so the heart doesn't feel like it always has to be hurt. And when you start to feel this love, when you start to embody this love, it isn't about, oh, I love you and I need to give to you and okay, fine, I need to destroy myself. No, that's not love. You will learn that you can put up boundaries to, it's not about conditions, it's about the giving and receiving. It's the yang is supposed to give, and the female is meant to receive, the yin. And when you start to understand that you don't have to overgive and then your male part of you collapses, you start moving those energies in a unique way. It is very surprising that you wake up to how you did things, how you're doing things, and how you're repeating them. But then when your soul goes, well, I don't really want to do that. And then when you start healing the emotions that change the thoughts, and then the next day you get tested and you want to reinstall, you're like, no, I don't. Because my inner world creates my outer world. And if my outer world's being mean, then I need to change my inner world. This lion's gate, Spirit says to me, no matter who comes, they are the very most important people. At this point, these people are ready. They heard their soul, they heard it calling, and they know it is like putting the oxygen mask on first. That if they start to do this for themselves, they'll arrange anything that's going on that would stop them. Because the value is that they value their soul more than I got to do this. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. We're going to be talking about thank you, Spirit. We're going to be talking about how to use this more. Now, I don't know how I'm going to cram it into 3 days, but I will give you what you need. Because it is super important. It is super important. Love is sitting with someone when they are not feeling well and holding space for them to feel that they need to not be judged for what they're going through. Amen to that. It's their world. You can sit and hold space and respect. And most people are so afraid that how they show up, think, oh, it's just going to be like the way it was. I'm going to tattle here, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and gossip here, and gossip that, and hurt them. Oh, and it could be all these other things, but yet it's nobody's business but this person's. They don't even have to tell you their story. Because if they tell you your story, then chances are the left brain is just going to lie. Because you got to go through that hero's journey narrative in your head. And we're on the healer's journey. And the soul-led healer's journey is very important right now. So if you come to the Lion's Gate, you're all going to do it. Whether you come to what I'm offering, or you're coming to it in your own space and time, in your bedroom, or wherever you are, you will be asked if you want to upgrade. And if you said, no, I've got more important things to do, then get ready because you're going to be kicking and screaming because nobody can turn this down. This means 3D, 5D, 5D. It's like, here's the split. This is your last call. Get on that plane. You're going to go. You get a chance to switch timelines. You get a chance to start again. You get to see the choice point. And most of all, we're going to learn to take care of our first time we responded to save ourselves. Because when you first saved yourself, it worked. And it won't matter how many times you try to grow and to save yourself, and you'll have to revert back to the first. And so this is why it's important that this time we take a handle on that and saying, do we need to? Do we honestly need to? I'm awake now. I'm aware what's going on. I understand how the brain starts to function. I need to become in charge of my emotions that dictate about how I feel. Okay. I need to really dive in. I really need to change how we do things. I'm looking for a pen. I'm looking for, and I had like 20 pens. Now I only see a one. Oh, I see one on the desk over here. Just borrow that one. Hold space for yourself. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for guiding me. Thank you for everything. And while I'm going through it, thank you. But you got to train yourself to see, to hear, and say, thank you, Spirit, for making it so loud that I know it's you. I know it's you, Spirit. I know it's you. Again, the more you heal out these emotions and these negative thoughts, you will become more your spiritual self. We're going to be doing this set on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You got 3 days. And if you're having problems with, money situations, give us a call, see if we can help. Messages. Give us a call. We never answer our phone. So just message us. We'll work it out. We'll help you get to the next stage. You're important. You are important. And you need to begin to hear your soul. Okay. Now, the show is about giving you every opportunity for you to grow. You can listen to other people that have done some issues they may have had. And we do a particular reading. Like today, Autumn is looking for a little guidance. And so we will do so. Got that. So we'll put down Autumn. We have April. And of course, Amy. Let me get up here. She said, whatever spirit wants. Both of them said, whatever spirit wants. Morgan. Yes. Get your questions prepared. I mean, Davin. Absolutely. Okay. So we'll go with April Lynn. Okay. All I heard was like move, shift aside. At first I thought it said S-H-I-T. And I thought, wait, what? No. Shift aside. Shift happens. And I keep hearing the word meaning. So are you doing something in particular that's repeating? Are you aware of it? The reason I say this, what's happening here? Okay. Give me a second because I'm looking at this. This should be, so you got a program that's running that shouldn't be running. And that's what I'm noticing on my screen. I'm like, okay. And then there's supposed to be a little button that's supposed to clear and say, no, I don't want this program. I want a different program. But it's not showing up. And it's like, I don't know where the button is. Okay. So now I'm looking at this going, what is it that you can't see? Is this about your first? This has to do with the way you can't. So this is a value system? No, a belief, a very strong belief. I can't. I can't. If I look, it looks like your 4-year-old self. I can't. And I feel like this 4-year-old had said, I can't, because I'm looking at how you put all these people in your way of, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't be me. So you could follow the pattern. So if I go back and I ask your soul, what do you mean by I can't? Now I'm going to see, because, Lionsgate's coming. I'm going to see what, now these are just stand-in cards. My cards are on my computer. They haven't come off yet, but I do have things written. So I can't. Let's hear what the soul is saying. I can't. I can't. Can't. Interesting. I can't. It's so strong. It is like not a 10. It's like huge. And it's like you said to yourself, I have to stop myself. That perspective is huge. I can't. So we take a look at what you've been doing the last few days about something, and then notice I can't. I can't. Um, uh, so when I'm looking at the word I can't, I mean, it's not even a feeling where normally I can feel I can't. It was I can't. It's a strong. Um, so I'm looking at your mental body, and that's your command center. It's the part that takes intention and turns it into form. Okay, so this is your ability. I take intention, I turn it into form, but because it's in the reverse position, it means that the mental body is not in command. And it's hijacked by a conditioned personal pattern. So it's running a collapse loop. And so I can't, but I feel like the mental body and the emotional body are not connected properly. So I'm looking at how the brain, the machine, is trying to run the code that no longer matches your current frequency. So if you healed something out and have been moving into, and you are being, and then you're starting to fight to keep this old identity, but yet you can't, because the connection of I can't and the emotional body is because you need to go forward. Now the identity, that old identity, has flatlined. The best way to say it. You're not even doing portrayal. You're not being defeated, and you're not drama. It's just the collapse of the old mental identity. The words, the way your words, the hero's journey, the narrative. So we have to begin to stare at your narrative. And this is like the how do you want to put it? The personality, the conditioned personality. It's on its final breath. And it's meant to let go of that emotional baggage, but in this case, it's mental baggage before you can completely integrate. So this is the moment the phoenix hits an ash, becomes ash. You just went, right? So you're right there. And when you think about the way this is sitting, it says your manifestations feel paused, your clarity feels intermittent, your energy feels like it's waiting. The system is quieter than usual. Your next move hasn't revealed itself yet. So you're kind of like in between selves. She says, work-related things did not go as planned. I'm feeling well. You didn't help me when I offered. Now I don't want to do it now. Ah, Interesting. I got to think of these words here. You are in between. That's huge. Okay, I'm feeling well. You don't take me. I offered, so now I don't want it now. Okay, notice. Okay, so listen to those words. This is a child, is 4 years old. She is hurt. And you're looking from a 4-year-old perspective. And if I were to take those words to which you said, and I were to apply it to the soul cards that eventually I'll have made and maybe to sell. So let me take your words, okay? And let's look at this a little deeper. I think I know what the emotion is, but you got to see how the little child is thinking. It's to cut off love, it's to put up a heart wall, and you gotten really good at whatever this is. It's this old pattern. And um, hmm, we're talking about something very specific. I withdraw my authority because you didn't respect my offer. So these are boundary mechanics. The soul card is like saying, okay, here's my mental body authority. I have clarity. I have mastered this. I have different leadership, ability to direct energy. But this is reversed. This is a program that says, I'm not giving you my clarity anymore. I'm not helping. You didn't take my help when I offered. So now I withdraw. This is very much a child that's felt pain and is, I'm not wasting my, so this is a beautiful opportunity. So if I said, where, they said, if you began in L2D, listen to the mental, L2D, listen to the mental, just hear the mental, but feel the mental. Take the words you said, because this 4-year-old is, this is what the 4-year-old learned of how you're supposed to be as a human. But you now ask the 4-year-old to step up and hold left wrist, second position deep. Take the soul code, begin to hold it, and feel the words, because these are like the first, that's the conclusions. And we need to really change the energetic pattern so that you can get, instead of being in between yourself, you will be able to move to the next layer. You're like, I'm not going to be a rescuer. I'm not doing this anymore. And seeing the child part wants to feel valued, but it's not meant to save anymore. Because the adult you, the soul you is like, oh, I'm going to hold space. I can give ideas, but at the same time, my nose don't need to be over here. I have to understand I have value. I have value. And as you're learning to let go of the old female part of you reaching out while your male collapses and can't get results, but it has to overhelp, overprotect, over this, over that. And you are meant to pull in your yin and let your male side of you begin to be there. Okay. Okay. The emotional body is done with the confusion, the illusion, the projection, and the old wounds. Your mental body is like, I'm done. I'm not even going to support those words, because the part of your soul is saying, I see it now. I'm not pretending anymore. I can see the words. I can see this. So when I'm looking at how this energy is in reverse, it's saying that the end of the emotional distortion, the projection loop, the shadow driven reaction, the end of the emotional body program. This is good. This is good. I'm not hurt. I'm not confused. I simply see the truth and I'm done, which means you are starting to soulfully see that you don't have to do those patterns. Literally, this is, you have to learn, how am I doing those patterns? But I don't have to. I can actually stop and realize as I pull the yin to receive and my yang to give, it is because you are giving with your yin. You're not. You're most to receive. And you are meant to let them grow, fall on their face. You know, because you're meant, you don't need to take on that karma. So the child part of you needs to grow. Yes, feeling disrespect. And that's the thing. Your child is saying it had disrespect when you're a kid and you've been trying to solve it. And so the people that are in your space now are just actors that are to be who it was. So who was the first that started to disrespect you at 4 years old? You never got to resolve that. You created a reaction, a first reaction, and it began to hurt. Okay? It began to hurt. I'll go a little bit more because it was your birthday. Let's go a little bit more. Um, it began to hurt. And it's the hurt. So when I'm looking at how the hurt before your hero's narrative came in, and it says L2D because it's like I exerted my power, but not the yang. You did it with the yin, and that's going to throw everything off balance. So you got to learn to bring that in. And when you had your yin doing that and your yang supposed to be receiving, again, its job is to give. They got switched to survive, but you regret. You're learning about personal power, and you were learning about respect. But now you have to heal the hurt so you can get your power back so the yin can receive and the yang can give instead. Okay, so it keeps going back to L2D. I said, any other soul codes you want her to have? They go, no, she's doing really good. She's starting to understand more about what is her deficiency. What it was basically the yin and the yang were not communicating the way they're meant to. Your survival part of you were running it. And as you're aging, chronologically aging like we do, now you're at the stage where I'm at. We're upgrading. And because you're also hitting your second Saturn return, aren't we the same age? And that is to say, I need to give up. No, it's a must. I'm not married to that particular identity, that way of surviving, that way of being. Mine happened to be just obvious because it was about the business. But there's all these other little parts of me that's like, no, that's not how I am anymore. And I feel that we need to begin to learn. And so again, I got this course of yin, yang, and values and how to energetically make them work. And if I said, okay, what would stop her, even if she put her hand on her head, because I feel like there's a resistance. No, I need to protect my heart. I need to know I'm right, they're wrong. I need to know that this hurt. And I think what it is did you see a gesture? Did you see a tone with that look? You know, the face is not matching. Did you know, what is it that you need to address on that level is what I'm getting. And so now I've got, let's see. So what humans do is we don't really hear the words as much as we hear the energy they bring into the space. You're opening, you're allowing emotional truth to be visible. You're shifting from withdrawal to detachment and coolness and guarded tone. You're going into softness and receptibility, and you're learning to respect that they have issues and that their issues are not your issues. So how they are energetically is that you have to see them that way, no matter how they show up, you have to see them that way. And it has to do with the way that your 4-year-old says, this is what I saw that made me say I can't. And you need to do along with R2D. So this would be R2D. Along with that, you need to do the eyes, maybe the clock, doing the clock, but definitely doing the eye switching. But you have to do it by not the words and the emotion, but how you know it when you saw their face. Measure, did that, oh, it could be an 8. Over here it's like a 2, and then, bring that process down. Hearing, because you're like, I heard those words, but I want you to feel. So you're going to have to know in and out, and in which ear, left ear, right ear, because the mental body is saying, those words have a frequency, and it looks like that face, and it looks like that they're going to brush me off, and this is how I know to be warm. Again, we're starting to take down the heart wall, and it's not just a heart wall where you take and you roll it out of your governing. This is saying, I carried this through my soul, through a couple lifetimes. Okay? It was surprise was not given the opportunity to apply. Okay, so now understand that this piece that you have to heal has everything to do with why it blocked you. When I started to learn how to receive with my yin and give with my yang, it started to lift the block that says you can't. So you and I are running something similar, girl. You and I are running something similar. And it's just because, for me, I'll just give you like the experience. Mine was 3, and it was the male energy that energetically, when I feel that they're stressed out and they're dysregulated, that makes me be stunted. And I took that as I couldn't be who I could be, or anything. And it has stunted my growth of letting my yin receive. Because I thought if I gave and helped self-regulate and I did more and self-sacrifice, then I could be me. But that was never true, because my yang had also collapsed. And it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I have to learn to let that go so I can get better alignment to, so it's a really big deal. A really big deal. I find that I need a lot more information because my little sees only one way. That's absolutely correct. And when you train yourself to build your intuition, and you begin to really see those stories, the soul-led life will actually help you get out faster and faster. Okay, thank you so much. And if you guys would like a reading or anything like this, then it's 5, 15, or 25. And if you want to gift somebody, you can. If you if you're new here, you can get a free reading. Okay. Now I'm going to, what am I doing? I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm shifting over to autumn. So is autumn here. See, we have great insight there when you say that, April. Exactly. And we have to stop that epigenetic and saying, no, it ends with me. Ends with me. So autumn, and then Morgan, get your questions ready. Get your questions ready. Morgan, sorry, Davin. Okay. Oh, what's happening here? Okay. So Autumn, I don't see her yet, but I gotta fix this one screen, put the puzzle in. There she is. There she is. Okay. It's taking its lovely time. So I know the puzzle pieces are coming up. I must be on for an hour. You are welcome. You are so dedicated to growing. I'm proud of you for that. I'm very proud of that. Oh. It's amazing how everything just slow. I did a video this morning. Perfect, right? I go and listen to it again, and it was like, how'd that happen? I was like one of those movies, Godzilla movies, and where my mouth is going, but you hear nothing, and then all of a sudden my mouth's not going, and you hear everything. And I'm like, wow, okay, we are definitely in different timelines. You'll be on Facebook. Okay, absolutely, no problem. Love it, Devin. Love it. Okay, so I'm waiting for that one to go blinky, but it's not done yet. Autumn. I don't know if this is okay. This is not me, but somebody on the other side says you have to stop playing the victim. And they're showing me the archetype of the victim. And I said, to herself, to others, to an auto response. What do you mean by that? The victim in this case is that, do you know what overcompensation means? Let's just start it that way. Do you know what overcompensation means? And as soon as I find out what screen she's on. I'll show you. Teresa. Yes, you do. Okay. So it is not to say that, oh, I'm a victim and you stop. No, there are parts to. There are parts to it. And in this case, your archetype says we have to look at a particular part for you. And let's see. Okay, I'm looking at a physical sense. So someone on the side is guiding you, helping you. Stop rescuing. Stop proving your worth. Stop overcompensating. So when I'm looking at this card and this energy is reversed, meaning physically, you have identified yourself as I'm worth. And then around the people, they want you to come into that scalar field, that Venn diagram, that scalar field. And it is, you have to bring that you have self-worth, not fight for it, but present it. So when I'm looking at this, you're overcompensating, overgiving, trying to prove your value, trying to earn their respect, trying to get them to shut up, trying to fix what isn't yours, self-abandoning yourself, disguised as generosity. So you're doing self-abandonment. I'm giving too much because I don't feel stable inside myself in this dynamic. So this relationship you have taken and giving, again, yin is supposed to receive and yang is supposed to give, but you're beginning to say, oh, so you're at that stage of becoming aware that my yin is not meant to give. My yin is not meant to raise you. My yin isn't to make you quiet. Where in me is I need to do this? Okay. So even though they said that you're playing the victim, remember, you're not. This is just part of an old pattern that you've been healing out. Your Phoenix cycle part of you saying, I'm not rescuing people who collapse into victimhood anymore. So you are seeing yourself of how you used to be a victim, the language of it, and you're done falling to being, I have to be the rescuer again. You are starting to say, I'm done. Enough. I'm done. So this childhood imprint, this emotional loop, this familiar dynamics you're recognizing it, that energy, that signature. And even if the people of, like, say it's not your family, and you bring someone in, and this shows that your kindness, this is the right thing to do. But this was done by using your yin to give, which is going to create a karmic loop. You have to learn to receive, and then you learn a different language of how to give in a different way. So you're having to do and change what it means to be right or wrong. Always be, always be the underdog, or always overcompensate. No, that don't work for you anymore. So when the I'm not responsible for your emotional state, and that doing the right thing by caring for you, and I'll do this. There's nothing wrong with, let's say, like, I get up, I see that my husband, yeah, I'm gonna leave him his cup of coffee because I want to, not because I have to. Um, or I'll see Amy, we'll be in the kitchen and she's cleaning or whatever, and I will come in and help. Not because she's doing it wrong, it's because it is a team working together. When you allow yourself to redefine what is actually giving. So I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I was standing in her way. And my old program was saying, "I'm sorry." That was my yin giving. And then I heard spirit, "No, take your yin back," and then you give her yang. So I just kind of felt the difference between yin and yang. And I gave, and I says, "I don't need to say I'm sorry. Yeah, you're next." And I said, I got to stop doing it to myself, because that's how I learned to cope, handle, deal, pacify, and manage and regulate. All right, April. You're gonna be this, yeah, then you need to know. Yeah. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to start to understand L2S. The L2S, in one sense, in the ego sense, is that you're gun shy. You're not sure how to step in, you're not so you use certain manners, and you use certain words, and and manners are huge when it comes to the fact we were, like, forced to do it. And can't put your elbows on the table, and you got to, I always say please and thank you. There's nothing wrong with that. But these were, you better be sorry. You better do this. You better do that. But we were children. And this was old story. So you have to step up and go, I don't want to do that. So in L2S, how you survive, you now with your soul is going, oh my gosh, I'm going to witness how I do it, and I'm going to take notes of how I done it and feel how that feels. And as you're holding R2S, you'll start to begin to notice, is that who I want to be? My yin is going to give. How do I give? And so you are learning to download. And so this upgrade is going to be downloading the yin and yang language. What does it mean to give? What does it mean? Okay, we'll probably talk more about this in tomorrow's tribe or whatever. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I know that it's coming now, because we don't have to keep doing it the old pattern. You don't have to. The male side is that you have to protect yourself, right? And so then if you make yourself vulnerable with and give with your yin, that that is not very healthy. So you have to lean into it, and you're like, okay, I got to stop the emotional availability, I'm not, and but then you're like, stop. I'm not responsible. I'm not the one that caused that. Even if they're pointing to me and saying I did it. Learn to hold space. Learn that you don't have to keep playing the way we did manners. Just giving myself a little note here before we move on to Davin. Do you let's see. said Facebook with that one. So go ahead and ask good questions. Unless you wrote it to me, then that means I have to open up this one, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. No, that's not it. All right, gotta do it again. um, nope, that's not it either. I will get there eventually. There it is. Okay, I see it now. I got it. Oh, now it disappeared. Hold on. Do do do. When can I read it out loud at all, Morgan? Where are you? I can't remember what screen you're on, but Morgan, we're going to do a reading. Let me know you're here, and let me know if I can read it all out loud. I'm not sure. I will read it somewhat. Oh, okay. So what I'm looking at, I'm going to break this down and try to respect her space. We're going to hold space for her differently. And so there was something new, and the physical body did a reaction that surprised. And so the conclusion is it because of something I did, something I ate, something, so you're trying to find the reasoning of why would that body act that way? And you're like, but I don't know why my body. So we're going to look at the energetic to why your body acted that way. So then that's the first question. Then the second question has everything to do with there's a particular feeling, and it, best described as feeling scary. I'm not sure, it just feels like it might, right? Oh, so it sounds like your soul is talking to you in your dreams. Oh, okay. So we're gonna, I'm gonna look this particular up. Okay, so hold on. Um, oops. I'm gonna look at the first question, and I'm asking the body, so why was going on? And there was emotionally, the emotions. What were you feeling for the body to react that way? And outside environment, you were feeling there was this people and all these energies of people hiding who they really are. And I said, are you matching that? Yes. In the scalar field, when people came up to you and they would have these temptations to act a certain way, be a certain way, and they're hiding, your body did not feel efficient. So you were met with other people's energies, and you're like, oh, and the body began to respond to, in what you had wrote, and it totally responded in that fashion. Okay. Are you here? Why don't I see? Oh, I haven't had but that I remember. Okay. Let me see if so in that first part of what you wrote, the physical part, um, you met with you were met with new energies that you remembered but don't remember, but at the same time the body was it just interfered that you were supposed to show up to them the way that you were, which was to be self-imposed limitations. You're supposed to act a certain way. You're supposed to be a certain way. And you have been growing. And yet at the same time, it came up in that way. It's like, oh, your body had to respond. Okay, your body had to respond. Okay. So because of that, we're going to type in a few things. Just give me a second here. Let's see. We're going to look at what your soul wants you to begin to understand. So when I'm looking at telekinesis in a dream, your soul's talking to you in the dream. Now, on a particular level, so how does this apply? Emotions or psychic influence, power, control, or the ability to move situations without a direct action. So you're being able to use the so-called like powers. So this, I feel, is like your emotional body on the soul level, attempting to move the dynamics within the new person without confronting them head on. I feel like the dream has something to do with you and that job and that stuff that you are going through. And you feel you shouldn't have have to use effort. The situation should respond to your energy alone. If you can't feel me, I'm not doing the work for you. So you're here and they're not, and you're going to be out of sync. And here's your frequency and they're not responding, or here's their frequency and you're like, ooh. Now in you, you know that telekinesis in this case is I'm not powerless anymore. There's a part of you that begins to understand, but the way the body responded was, I can't do this. I'm rejecting, I can't do this, I just can't, right? So we're looking at this from this respect. And so in the dream, you have fear. It scares you because it's something that you don't understand. And so you feel overwhelmed, waiting control, wanting things to change without effort, and fear of losing control, fears of the emotion, that maybe you're too powerful. And then at the same time, the fear is being too powerful or too much. So I don't feel fear in the dream, but the real life, I feel something. Yes, your dream is trying to tell you that you're not powerless. But in real life, your body is showing that it is powerless. So you have to understand the conflict is that one part of you is like, no, and another part of you is hooked into the fear. So you haven't really developed past the fear response. And so the fear response, so this new person is triggering old insecurities, fear of messing up, fear of being judged, fear of not being good enough, the fear of losing control, or the fear of being overwhelmed. And so the dream of the telekinesis, and your brain is trying to express, I feel out of control around this new situation. Okay, this is emotional. And when I looked at these cards, your soul is saying, I have to look at where I'm insecure. Where is it that feeling like I'm failing, feeling embarrassed, feeling I'm not doing well. So there's a judgment. There's something going on in you that I don't feel in control. And so the body is even if you are not getting in your head, the body is saying, I need to protect myself, even though there's really entirely nothing to protect yourself from, but it sees it as a threat. And so when you put that together, is I don't feel confident, I don't feel stable, but the body's telling you this. I'm scared, I'm messing up, I'm scared of being overwhelmed. So your body then says your nerves, your adrenaline, your fear, your overwhelm caused this situation that you had first question you wrote. Okay, so now we're getting to know the truth. You know that you have health issues, and your health issues cause a limitation. And so you can't stand or walk for a long time, and so you can't handle most jobs. Now, this job is requiring you to stand and walk. And so as you are doing this, you're being challenged to see, is it true? Now, if it really is true, then your body's going to come in and say, yeah, we got to shut this down. But here's also the mental limitation. Just bear with me. You need to heal out that you have a limit. Okay. And so yours would be R2D, right wrist, second position D. That's your soul code. And I want you to look at how your piece is gone. You feel limited. You can't do it because the body. Okay. And they're aware of your health issues or not, because you can adapt. If they don't, then this is a different job. But you need to heal the mental limitations. I didn't think I could lift past maybe 50 pounds, bench press 50 pounds, right? But that's not true. And I have a friend that had rotator cuff surgery, and they're like, oh, you're going to lift, but you're not going to be able to lift much. You're not going don't expect. And so by hearing a professional is like, okay, I can't. And then looking at it going, ooh, I don't know if I can. And then, so we did healing. And then all of a sudden now they can lift around above or more than 50 pounds. Where before it was like, you're not going to be able to do it. Me, I reached up to 125. Now I haven't done it in a while, so I'm restarting. And so I was at 85. And then there's a certain progression. And so I'm sitting there and I'm breathing differently. And instead of doing 6 reps, I end up doing 12. And I'm like, where'd that come from? And then I did it again. And then we kept increasing the weight. And it was like, whoa. So I'm getting stronger. Sometimes we have these mental blocks because of what we thought. My mother, she had broken her ankle. And of course, she progressed to having a walker. And she learned to be gun shy. I can't do this without support, and kept doing this. And she wouldn't give up the walker. And then it was like, no, you need to come to physical therapy. And she's like, I don't want to. She finally did. And then she was like, she didn't need the walker anymore. So we can get stuck based on fear. I don't eat enough. Okay. Okay, well, then we need to work on different levels of that. Instead of just one angle, you look at all of these different angles. Okay. Because when you look at these different angles, then you can reach something greater, far greater than what your limitations. All right. Okay. So you just, that'd be for another time of why you don't eat enough. But we also, if you keep moving the energies, and like me, I'm focusing on the physical body, and I'm like, I don't have to believe in these limitations. You get to redesign yourself. So right now there's a part of you that's your dreams are telling you that you have the ability, but the fears are saying you can't, and therefore you're looking in life that you create this limitation. So just begin to notice the limitation, and how do you know it? If you can measure it, take R2D and go, yeah, I can't because, and look how solid the conclusion is, and just keep staring it down, feel it and breathe it. And the body will then say, well, maybe I don't need this. And it'll start to release some of the conclusions and that limitation. So slowly you can peel it back. Okay, good. Now let's go over to the screen and get the address, and the next person is going to be live. So they will come on and we get to see them. Are you ready, Amy? That's not going to be the screen I'm looking for. Give me a minute. It's stuck. You guys learning things? Are you growing? You know you are. Be proud of yourself. You got this. You can do this. And together we can start creating a whole new way we actually look. Okay. Yeah, we went out to the beach, and I can't remember which beach it is, but we went out there, and it wasn't as cold as I thought it would be, and it was nice. We got to listen and see it and enjoy ourselves, and it was good to get away and just take a break and then get back into the swing of things. Gallery. There we go. Now I can hear you too now. Awesome. How are you?
I'm a little bit tired, but I'm good.
Awesome. How can I help you?
Um, there's been a lot going on. You know what's going on with what happened on Saturday. Uh it's I learned that you can receive a bitch slap on a whisper.
Yes. And I love that you are beginning to learn to understand that it doesn't have to hurt, like we are
Nope.
trained. Okay, so regardless of what it is, that's your belief, your privacy. So do you want to know where you're at? Or what do you want me to help you do? And
Yeah, I want to know where I'm at, and yeah.
okay, so yes, there's something she couldn't do, and so she ended up getting a bitch slap, but because she has done a lot of soul codes, a lot of healing, and she could see how her old pattern was supposed to hurt. It's supposed to, and now you're undoing the life that you
Mhm.
created around it. And
Yep.
now, where should she go? Um, that's what we're going to look at. Okay. Okay, so I had to get a new keyboard, and of course, it's sticky and strange, and it's hard to type on it. And it's bigger because I had a smaller one that fit in my tiny little spot.
Okay. Now it
Okay,
makes sense. No, yeah, it makes sense now.
what?
Mhm. The two keyboards when I helped you the other day.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
So I'm looking at she's pushing too hard, too fast on the wrong direction. Okay. And so stop forcing connections. Stop trying to drive the dynamics. Stop trying to control the outcome. Stop rushing. Again, let Jesus take the wheel. When you did that and said that, universe said, okay, you're over here, but now you're supposed to be over here. And so you gave Jesus the wheel and everything started to change. Now
Mm-hmm.
you are stepping up because you got a deadline to some degree. And
Yep.
okay, I'm going to get everything done. I'm going to do this and that. Um, so when the card says that you need to pull back, slow down, stop pushing, but then the next card, that's how you were feeling in some degrees. Remember when Lily died, people come to you and they gave you
Mm-hmm.
all grief, and you were like, "But this isn't mine. That's theirs." You're feeling it
Yep.
from the papers or the words that are on them.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a difference of being prepared because the energy is you and spirit and soul led versus you have to do this because of all the way the wording is. So the
Mm-hmm.
next part I said, so what do you need to start doing? Hold your ground, protect your energy, stay contained. And so this is where no matter who and what you are outside yourself, don't let it get emotional.
Yeah.
So stay reserved, stay grounded, stay private, don't overshare, don't overgive. Because now you're if you do, it's a shock. We're supposed to overgive. We bring everybody in and we think a certain way, and then we get influenced by what they do, and we're looking for
Mm-hmm.
support because we're shocked or whatever. But you got to remember who is your soul, okay? But it's not about your support system. It's about the opposing threat that has you. This is a prayer you asked. How many years ago did you ask?
Oh, probably 10.
10 years ago, she asked for, hey, I need this resolved because I'm done. And now the answer came. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you forgot the question. I forgot I asked that because you're shocked, you're
Yeah.
overwhelmed, you're all that. And at the same time, you are, yeah, I did ask.
Yeah.
Now, what do I want to do with it? Do I want to fight to keep it? No.
No, I don't.
Okay. And then it's like, all right, but now this is the bit. You know that you can't go back to that because it's meant to be dismantled. And you don't want to go
Right.
back to that. Now you have to pick up right where you are and continue forward. But allowing yourself to keep transforming everything that would be these roadblocks. So I'm looking at how you're going to be doing a lot of R1S because there's going to be a lot of territorial issues. Okay. And the old way of wanting to respond, the habits are going to come forward, which is going to be a whole lot of healing. But then there's also, do you need to do karmic debt? Now, you're healing to get yourself out of spiritual debt, but the karmic debt is how you use your yin and yang. And when the ego goes, that person, that person, that person are pretty much like against me, there's a part of you that feels like I gotta mend this, fix this. The yang is like I
Mm-hmm.
got or the yin is like I gotta overcompensate. But let's hear what your yang wants to do. And it says, we're done being overpowered. And I said, so hold on. Gotta help you begin to see the energetic pattern. And is the way you express yourself, the voice, the tone, the posture, the micro signals. When your yin is overgiving, your yang collapses. And that means that you probably experienced where you didn't have healthy, emotional, regulated men in your world. And so
No, I didn't.
you are like, okay, this is where you feel your ego feels like it's alone and that the yin needs to come in and give, give, give.
Mm-hmm.
It says when someone gives, yin gives and their yang receives the bad, regardless, is that the yin emotional receptive is over functioning. So we know it's too much. The yang, the boundaries, the directions, the strength, the protection is under functioning. So you're not able to make a healthy boundary. You're not able to aim for your directions. You're not even allowed to lean on your own strength and know that you can protect yourself. Okay. So you give
Yeah.
soft and you give this softness and the sweetness, but you absorb all the negativity. We got to get you to stop doing that. They
Mm-hmm.
often they offer care, but they take the harm. This mental needs to
Yeah.
stop. The strategy of how you survive needs to stop. You kind of stop going in that direction. So um, they open emotionally, but don't defend themselves. And even when you do defend yourself, because of the yin and yang not communicating correctly, then they will overpower you. And then the yang and you will collapse, and then you'll absorb, and then you'll get stuck in this nasty pattern. So you don't need to match their energy. You must hold your ground. You must not give, regardless of what the talk, whatever the shame, the blame, whatever they point to, whatever they want you to crumble. They're looking for that button, and we're going to learn to heal out these buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've been catching myself wanting to ask this one certain person, why did you do, this? And it's like, no, I don't, it's not what I need to know.
well, think of it this way. You have a child, you want them to learn how to stop being so emotional. You put them in timeout. And if that child looks at you and you look at them, they know they got you. If that
Mm-hmm.
child starts talking and you respond, they know they got you. That
Yep.
is why you are going, well, I want resolve. Your left brain is like, I want resolve. This is an emergency. I need resolve. Instead of bringing in your soul and having a soul led life. And again, you're meant to take your yin back and just say, you know what? The truth will come out. Thank you. Right now, Jesus has got the wheel and it is going
Yep.
to be taken care of. And I'm just going to stand back and wait until I'm told by spirit when to stand up. Right now, I'm meant to heal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yin is not meant to give. You understand? Yin is not meant to give. So it is the story. This is part of like growing up. And any given instance, like you making a cup of coffee, that's giving, but that's because you want to, not because you have to. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
kindness of love, and not that the yin has to survive, but it's about how you want to do this. So when you are looking, yin is meant to be soft, receptive, intuitive, emotional, and nurturing, calming. So like learning the new skill of when a person needs you, you hold space differently. And if they need help and they're all upset, you can help support them so they can get to the answer, not you taking over, not you micromanaging, not you, you know, if they're overwhelmed, you just sit with them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't push nothing. Now, as you begin to give, you're going to use your male, which is about I'm going to sit upright, shoulders back, chin level, grounded stance. You're going to be clear. You're going to control your gestures. You're not going to collapse. You're not going to be aggressive. You're solid. You're clear. And
Mm-hmm.
as you learn the skills, and you don't need to be emotional, let the male
Mm-hmm.
part of you have a steady tone, a clear direction, and confidence, while the yin receives and then helps pull it in, saying, yes, this is what we want. So you're learning to be soft and strong at the same time, because you don't have to be defensive. You don't have to apologize. Remember when we were in the kitchen and I apologized and I'm like, well, why do I need to do that? And you're like, I don't know.
Right.
But my yang says,
Yeah.
yeah, you
It
don't
was
have
like
to.
there was nothing wrong. You
Right.
did
And then
nothing wrong.
that was my yin overgiven. But then my yang goes, stop, you don't have to. You're next.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like my yin and yang started to work together. So you know where to stand. You know not to be afraid. You know how to be individual. You know how you're going to be able to take care of yourself. They all want you to
Yes.
fall, from what I can hear, they all want, meaning it sounds like your parent, they all want you to go cry into them because you're doing it not their way. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
yin receives and is emotionally open, not the negativity. You're in the quantum field. No, I'm done with that. Thank you, Spirit. Line me up to love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so
Yeah.
let's get
It's a big lesson, and it can be daunting and it would have been had I not done as much healing as I had already done before this came.
right. True.
And so by healing all of this stuff in the past, it has made this so much easier. Yes, it's hard, but it's not as hard as it could have been.
Okay. Exactly. You know, there's no way that we can prove that because then we'd have to go and do the bad thing. But we don't need to do that to prove anything. But for you, you
No.
know. So you right now, I want you to hold L2S. Here's your soul code, L2S. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel the situation with that you're in right now, and you can feel it being, does it jiggle, does it wiggle, does it cut, what does it do?
My body kind of wants to spin, not my head, but my body, which is interesting.
Okay,
Wants to
and what
kind of
it's saying,
spin.
right, because the part that you're holding says I have to shut down emotionally and I need to overgive, I need to overcompensate, I need to correct, these are all the ways that I'm supposed to survive and I'm supposed to take care of everybody else. But I want you to feel. And so then just say, tell me my yin and yang. Tell me, how would you handle the situation if you were in the correct position? So just say, thank you, Spirit, show me.
I just sort of let them flop in the wind.
Right. And then you hold space. Now, I just allow yourself and say, how would yang give? Now that's your yin saying, okay, I let go. I'm not going to absorb you in. And the yang is sitting there going, okay, I'm going to
I,
hold this. Go ahead.
I'm gonna hold space. It wants to hold space just to let all of the puzzle pieces fall in where they're supposed to fall into.
Right. So no more. Your yang is saying, I'm taking over. I no longer need to shut down for them. I don't need to shut down my yin. I don't need to. She's there to help hold. So you are going to learn that you are independent, you're upright, you are strong, don't have to be fidgety, you don't have to shrink, you don't have to lean forward and take the abuse. You're stable, you're grounded. And you're like, I'm not moving unless I have to, or I choose to, not have to, but I choose to. I want to. So you're clear, you're connecting with both parts of your brain, and you know where you're standing. And you look at that and notice that people are trying to be those little kids. As soon as they got you, then they're going to take over. No, you need to raise yourself. You're soft, you're neutral, but you're not closed. You are just sitting there and saying, here's my boundary, and I'm not going to give my power away. No matter what you say, do, act, I'm going to go above your head and say, thank you, Spirit. Show me what I need to do next. And you go down that road without the emotions, have a clear head. And you'll start seeing the signs to how Spirit wants to guide you. So as you're holding, notice your yin is, I got to shut down. Now talk to her. Why?
I hear it. It's because that's what I was taught. That was what I learned.
Okay. Now you have your littles or shadows. Hold the point. Do the soul code. And the part that said I have to, and that's the say, do you still?
No, and it's the part that's talking is the part that I found last night.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, okay. Now, can you feel the yin not shrinking? Now, let it just put out, it's not giving, but it's not pulling away and shrinking. Have it stand and say, that's, I don't need to project this anymore. Take your power off it. And notice that they're there, but they're like melting. They're like, I don't need to see this perspective on this person. And feel the yin stepping up, being calm and holding the boundary because it's not getting pulled into the story or absorbing. But you're standing there and you're not being affected by what is being thrown at you. They are the kid in the corner. Nope, you're not doing it. Now the yang in you is going to be strong and wait patiently.
I just heard I don't have to believe that I can't do it anymore.
And you feel it comes from your littles, your shadows?
From the littles, and I think it's more than one, but
Okay.
also the shadow that is going through what it's going through.
Okay. Okay. And notice that they don't have to. The shadow does not, that part that said, I can't be me, and you threw it aside. Ask that shadow to come forward and say, do you still have to feel like you have to be thrown aside?
The shadow put its hands in it. Well, no.
Well, good, good, good. So you're allowing these energies to move from what I can feel. Is the body still spinning?
Uh-uh.
And
Nope.
I notice it's self-regulating from what I can see.
Yes.
And now it's saying I'm under pressure to be the shadow. I have to take and beat on this unhappy or this happy person. I need to throw them aside and give them what they want. So who are you giving? What part of you is giving what they want? Who is this mask? What is this mask?
What I heard was like it, all I could hear was colors, like the gray part.
Okay. Now say thank you for doing your part. And I want you to take the color off of it and put it in the treasure chest. And as that mask starts to change, who's going to step forward? Is it the shadow, or is it the little child's going to grow up and be happy? The shadow part's going to be integrated. How would you want to do this? Just allow yourself to keep feeling because you're like, well, I'm pressured to be this. I'm under pressure to be this. But is it true? Take the pressure off, turn it down, whatever you need to do with the pressure. Is the pressure like a ball and it's too tight? Deflate it, balloon. But how would you change the pressure? If it's too heavy, make it a feather, make it lighter.
It's like the balloon's ready to pop.
Okay, now untie it and let it just let the balloon be the balloon. Either it can float or not have any air in it, but it doesn't have to be under pressure like it's going to burst. Let it
Oh, no,
be.
it's doing what a balloon does when you untie it and let go of it.
Okay. It's having fun now.
Uh-huh.
So as you take the color off, the mask comes off, and the part that had become your shadow, is that able to step forward?
I just heard I can come home now.
Then bring it in. What I want you to do is hold R1S for that. And I want you to notice that you miss that part of yourself. When you were in those days where you had to sit back and not be you, you're missing that part of yourself. That's what I want you to think.
I'm hearing Fibonacci square. I have no idea what that means.
Fibonacci square. And I heard something else. I just left my head. I kid you not. That's what I'm hearing. I kid you not. So Fibonacci is usually the spiral. The Fibonacci tiling is the squares. And it is, these squares can arrange together to make tiling. So you're creating a new design, a new archetype, a new modeling. It's an energetic pattern for growth, expansion, and direction. And your yin and yang should start to balance. That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm seeing all of the littles and shadows and like my parents like going in the spiral
Mm-hmm.
back to where they're supposed to be.
Oh, good. Rebalancing. Good. Oof. Now, the question is, do you need to keep the energy of disdain, the emotion that was energetically constantly present? Do you need to keep it because it's what displaced you to create a shadow?
I just heard the F-bomb no.
Okay, so go back to L2S and notice that the hidden story was the energy that was in the space of disdain.
It's like all of a sudden I'm freezing inside, not physically,
Okay.
but inside. It's like like the inside of my arms.
Just focus and feel and breathe. Let the body release it when it's ready. While you're doing that, I'm just going to share with everybody. We have the 3-day event, 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's coming up quick. And I'm created a heck of a deal so that it's for if you're a member of 222 for the 3-day event. They're about 3 hours long, depending on the amount of people. And at the same time, you can learn from one another, and it's giving you soul codes so you can grow. We'll be doing some healings and learning how to do and talk differently. And then we'll have a meditation, and then afterwards, the integration. Again, more soul cards to help you integrate. Then we're also giving you 1 month of tribal free so that you can come 4 times and continue to heal what you need to heal to help you in this new energy field. But if you're a tribal member, it is going to cost you way less because that is my gift to you because of your dedication to take yourself serious that you want to move forward.
I'm so excited for that.
Okay, how are you feeling?
I'm starting to warm up, but it's like I feel like this is going to continue.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that we'll take the golden white light, pull it from the top of
Yep.
your head to your heart, extend it out, ask it if it accepts it, and then we will go from there because this is how your body says, I'm always
Yeah.
overwhelmed. And your yin and your yang is saying, I don't need to use that sign. But I think what you need to do is walk about, drinking something
Yep.
warm, living, and then notice when the yin and yang wants to do that pattern. And your shadow says, if I'm going to be integrated, I want to make sure that I'm, so it knows it's going to be tested.
Yep.
That's not fun on my end, but that's okay.
I love you.
Yes, thank God. Okay, and I love you too. But I think it may come in a form of grudges from people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that
so
makes sense.
pay attention to the words, but it's like if it's coming through a text, you're already going to have their facial expressions, their tone. Be aware that you're going to go right into the locked way of knowing all of that, which is whether you don't need to do to or not, but you are soulfully waking up going, hey, I just caught the picture. They're not standing in front of me, but the energy coming off it is. And at the same time, I see pictures of how they look and the tone they're using, but they're not standing here talking to me. That's when you can stop and go, I caught it. And then you're going to start doing R1S. Okay, right wrist versus
Okay. Yep.
So thank you so much. We'll see you in Tribal tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let me find a way out here and bye. Love you.
Bye.
So Davin. No, Davin, tomorrow, I feel like you're being called to start coming to Tribal. But that's 42 a month but the 3-day event is for anybody. The general admission is 222. Normally it's was 355 plus, but I want people to grow, and so I made it affordable for you. But I don't I have a lot of value that I'm giving. So if when you join Tribal, so the people that have already joined get it for a certain price, and the people that are joining don't start Tribal until afterwards, and they get that 1 month free. So the Lionsgate, which is a very important one, is open to everybody, just so you know. That makes sense? I keep feeling that you are meant to now start to grow. What'd you say up here? I've been waiting to have a new way of thinking because I don't like how I'm thinking now. Okay, yeah. You are seeing the program is just the program, and it's the hero's way of thinking. And your soul says, no, I'm much more than that. I know I'm meant to think differently, which is what we do here, is to listen to how the soul talks versus how just being human talks. That makes sense, Devin. Thank you so much. I'm going to check again to see if anybody else has said anything. Get it out there if you know people that want to learn. Tell them that they can learn for free, or if they want to learn deeper, then we have tribal, and there is a small cost for that. And if you want to really get into the Lion's Gate to get you into your body and your nervous system ready for the energy that everybody is going to experience globally, then you are more than welcome to come to do that with me, right along with me. Somebody asked, is it going to be available, for reruns? I haven't decided, but it may be, and it may be at a cheaper cost. I don't know. But at the same time, the energies run until the 12th, I think, anyway. So you can keep doing this. And then you also get the repeat, so you can watch it again and go through the meditation again and all of that. So that could be. What time would it be? So, like how the time I start my show is usually 10 a.m. Well, it's going to be 11 a.m. So it's just like my show time. Okay. And fun template. Yes, I think 11 a.m. is what I decided. And if you need a time date calculator, where are you from? What time zone are you in, so we can get this figured out for you right now, just so we know. So again, this is Australia time, your Eastern Standard. Okay. So like for people that are watching, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can. Well, go to time date calculator converter. And once you go into the converter, then you can type in Adelaide, and then you can type in Eastern Standard Time, which would be yours. And then you go down to Australia or Adelaide, okay? And then you're going to say, all right, so we know that it's going to be Friday the 7th. And then you put that time, you know that I'm going to start at 11 a.m. And then you hit that, and then it would start at 9:30 p.m. your time. And the reason, because I thought, should I do it at 10? But they keep saying 11. And I think you're meant to, because you're in the United States, I think you're meant to do this so that you can, once you go to sleep. Now, it could be just 2 or 3 hours. I could do the time change different. I don't know. I've already put it out there, but no, I still could change that, maybe do it an hour early, because everybody is slightly different. There may only be a few people that come. It could be a lot. I don't know. I don't know. But we can whip right through it, get through it. And you can always watch the rerun before the next time for that night if you need to. I'll try to get them up as fast as I can and get the link up to you. It's in USD. Yeah, thank you. She said 9:30 USA. Yes. And so when you pay, it is USD, so that you know that so it's 222. But some of you tribal members, what did I say it was? 100 and I think 156 or something like that. I try to give you a big discount, because I know that you guys are working so much on yourselves, and you have been showing such an incredible growth, and I'm just like, I'm impressed. 156, yeah. And I'm so impressed with you and your dedication to listening to your soul. Tribe isn't tribe without you. So I'm glad that you care about yourself and you want to help with the movement. So Davin, I'll talk to you maybe privately about the whole thing so that we can help see what you can do. Okay, so I'll get my accountant and we can figure it out. Okay, depends on how you want to do it. Ah, thank you, Teresa. Again, the biggest help is when you can put out the message, forward the means, get the word out, be a salesperson. We can do many things. All right. Okay. Hi. It's cold out and I realize that I'm sweating in here. So what is it? 74. It's 56 out, 74. Getting a little warm. Thank you very much for being here today and caring about yourself and creating the growth that is necessary for within yourself. And every time you heal, you heal me, you help heal the world. Yeah, your mom, that's not meant for her. It's meant for you. You got to decide. If you can't do it because she's going to control the purse strings or she's going to control it, that's something you have to work through. Yeah, but when you've been in a particular field, you know your field, you know what it works. Listening to something outside yourself sounds foreign. You're not going to believe in it because you haven't had the experience. Because you have no experience with it, it's poo-poo. It's like foo-foo. Yeah. But you keep coming back because you keep experiencing something because you know that you don't want to experience certain things or you need answers to certain things. So you are meant to get the experience. And when they don't understand, you have to respect that that's where they are. But if they are, depending on your relationship and what it's supposed to be, growth is growth wherever you need to go and whatever you need to do. It needs to be up to you about how you want to do things and healing yourself so you can return back to love. I know that people, I'm teaching something that has been forgotten. And to experience it, this is why the world collapse of their thinking, it's all changing now. It's all changing for the better. And it may look awful, but when it's done, it will start to be in a much more healthier state. Mm. You see what I'm saying? Wow, 15 pages notes. Gotta love it. I do. You're learning to paraphrase, you're learning to train that brain. Good on ya. Good. All right, I'm going to shut this off, this little here. So remember, resolve to evolve, heal instead of deal. You can do this and you can heal these things and you can open up your heart to have more love and have that heart-brain coherence. And it's okay to listen from a soul level. You're already blessed and you're already whole. So stay blessed and happy healing.